Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to this thing on Tuesdays that makes me hate literally everybody and everything on the planet. We talk sometimes about this thing that some people call wrestling, but I won't. I won't do that. I don't know. I'm not really sure even what we do here. I'm not even sure who I am. I feel like I've been taking crazy pills literally for the last hour. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Welcome to the NXT Sour Graps post show for October 11th. Thank you so much for joining us. Get in those super chats, get in those humper chats. Keep me posted on the score of the Yankee game. Leave a thumbs up on this video if you would be so kind. And subscribe to Fightful Select because it would just mean a lot to us if in the final hours of Alex's life, you would support us with subscriptions over there. And on the off chance that Alex survives, you will also get Alex not as sour as tonight, probably, but who knows. Every Monday and Friday, I join in oftentimes. Also on Fightful Select, you can get a double dose, triple dose really of your sour, and you'll also get paywall pay-per-view post shows with me and Alex as well. And, of course, all the latest and greatest breaking news in professional wrestling. So much information on various returns. Obviously, Bray Wyatt being the biggest one that we've seen. Alex, normally when we close the show, you go, everything sucks, and we're like, haha, bye, thanks for joining us. I feel it's imperative to say it at the top of the show tonight. Mm-hmm. Except for the opener, which was a banger, and I was like, all right, we're off to a good start. The feud has kind of made sense. There were stakes. And then downhill is...
That's the funny thing is you forgot that wasn't even the opener. The opener was a nothing match between Bron Breakker and Javier Bernal. But again, there's literally so many things that are so forgettable on this episode of wrestling television that honestly, if I wasn't going to look at the rundown that Luis provides us, I would forget 90% of the show.
Okay, now imagine that's happening while your Bucks are in the playoffs, because that's where I was at tonight. October baseball, baby! I thought for sure we were going to be headed to the top of the ninth with the Yankees with a 2-1 lead as we were going live on this broadcast. So I will take my Yankees in the bottom of the eighth with a 4-1 lead. But appreciate Scott George in the chat keeping us posted. This was a very bad episode, and I think I said to you before the show went on, I just wish that they hadn't changed the logo. Don't give me false hope if you're just going to keep delivering me the same rainbow-colored nonsensical crap that you're always going to be delivering. Don't give me a new logo. Don't give me a new logo with hints of the black and gold brand that I fell so in love with. Don't give me all this false hope that maybe Triple H is straightening things out because there's been promotions and maybe he got his footing with the main roster a little more. I don't want the false hope. If this was just another episode of the rainbow-colored bullshit, I would have been like, story tracks. I'm used to this. But yet, you pulled me in the other direction for a minute. This was terrible. And it's so many... The problem is, a lot of it felt inconsequential. The tag triple threat had stakes, but I didn't like any of the three teams in them. And then the other things I remember on the show, I remember for being not very good. So, the Sonia stuff we'll get to, but to me, that was just like an egregious creative lapse that hurt my feelings because I love Sonia. I thought her feud with Mandy was one of the few things that worked in the pandemic era of wrestling. I felt like it did
It may have been the best thing during the Performance Center era of before they even brought out the time between when the pandemic started and when the Thunderdome happened. The best thing in wrestling at that time on WWE was, to me, Sonia Deville and her feud with Mandy Rose. And
I felt like it did such a good job of placing her as a top heel. Like, I felt like it did what it was supposed to do in establishing it.
So good. She was
so good. But we're going to get there. So send in your super chats and your humper chats about that. Alex and I felt like we were the only people online that agreed with each other, including within our own Fightful family. But I think there were some rose-colored glasses people were looking at things through, Alex, and I'm not here for it, and I know you're not, but
no, we'll talk.
You're right. We did
We'll talk.
We did kick off with this completely inconsequential quote unquote match.
Because Javier Bernal last week was dumb enough to be like, hey, Bron Breakker. I've only had one match on NXT proper. Everything else has been on Level Up. That one match was against a guy who wasn't even signed at the time. He was just a security guard who they let fight because it was like, I don't know, like one of the, like whenever, like Make-A-Wish day for security guards. And he beat me.
It's Make-A-Wish day for security guards.
That's what it was. It was Make-A-Wish day for security guards.
It's really sweet.
Hank got a match versus me, an actual signed wrestler, and beat me clean in the middle of the ring. But I think I'm good enough to take you on, Bron Breakker. And guess what happened? Bron Breakker beat Javier Bernal. Who could have seen that coming? By the way, Booker T on commentary in NXT is every bit as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's not good.
It is atrocious. He works sometimes on the main roster because like he's like wrestled against some of those people. Like he actually I remember him having insights on like Randy Orton and something back when he was like when he was doing commentary for Raw. It was still not great, but at least he had like insights with that era of people. Now it's like, I've never seen this guy. I think he's great. Or actually I don't, because I just saw something else. I mean, like, I don't know, like do some research before your first day on the job. Did they send you any film to watch, Booker?
I think he was well suited for his pre-show position that he previously held.
We didn't get a shucky ducky quack quack moment of the night tonight, and I feel like we're owed.
Yeah, I feel like if it happened, I would have been mad that it happened, but now that it didn't happen, I find it egregious that it didn't happen. So, and admittedly, handcuffed.
It was going to be terrible, but it was the one thing I was looking forward to.
I know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the commentary changes have not been good from what we saw yesterday with Kevin O'Irish and Graves. And tonight was bad. And Wade Barrett and Cole was fine on Friday, but I didn't feel like a huge step up. So I don't know. The commentary changes haven't been working for me.
I'm not doing Booker T impressions. I'm not doing that. I don't need to get kicked off the airwaves.
No, we already were towing the line with Rey Mysterio, but because it was so accurate and Hispanic people were requesting it, I felt like it was okay.
Not doing any Booker T's. Just like how nobody knows this, but I do an impeccable R-Truth. It will never be done on the air because I will be kicked off the air immediately. That is me doing R-Truth is vocal blackface, and I'm never going to do it. You can't make me do it. I know it's wrong, and so I'll never, ever, ever do it. JB Pringle says, this week has felt like a month, and it's only Tuesday. The 2 hours of NXT 3, whatever, felt like watching all Lord of the Ring movies back to back, but bad. JB Pringle also says, Alex, the one and only, Kate, the best kayfabe sister I never had, Papa Paul Elizabeth, the best of us. Ladies of Cease and Desist, Council of Marks, I salute you. My middle name is now rainbow-colored BS.
That's quite a name, but fitting.
Yeah.
Because I'm terrible at the introduction, I also forgot to mention that we are on Twitch. Also, twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. You can send in your bits there. And for those of you who don't know, if your interface changed, there's a little medallion where you send in your super chats now, not a little dollar sign. I keep forgetting to mention that too. So the interface change super chats are still set up as they are our lifeblood. So please send them our way. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like my thoughts on Sonya. A lot of people didn't like my thoughts on Blink 182. They suck. We can talk about that too if you want.
I mean, listen, they're not good, but I like them. I like Blink 182. It brings back memories of a simpler time. The year that I was 20 was a fantastic year. And so there was a lot of Blink 182 going around at the time. If I hear certain songs of Blink 182, I'll get a smile on my face. It doesn't mean I think it's good music. It's just I have a little nostalgia hit.
Alex,
I didn't say they were good.
Oh boy. I don't know how I can lose respect for you and continue the show at the same time.
Don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head. Miss you, miss you.
The only part of that song that you should be singing is the I'm so sorry part, because you should be sorry for singing that. Thank you. It's like this kind of stuff. It's because they took punk, they took a whole genre that was rooted in rebelling against the queen, and that was cool and was gritty, and they cleaned it up and they put it in the center of the radio dial.
Yeah, I know.
Punk is trash. Get it out of here.
No one is arguing this. TNA for life. Green Day's better than Blink-182. Like better,
especially early Green Day. Early Green Day was really good.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Wow, weird. Avalana says tipping towards Alex's therapy fund. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna need it. Oasis is better. What? I'm sorry, you're not hearing me. Blink 182 is not good. It just gives me nostalgia vibes, and sometimes that's fun. Oh, this is going to be good for the jukebox. You're going to have to do this. It's going to be great. So as
long as my Yankees win and you guys keep paying me, I don't give it. Let's go.
Yeah. So RH says, remember that when there was that notion that Sour Graps was possibly getting rebranded as Sweet Graps? NXT remembered and couldn't abide that rebranding.
I do appreciate the job security.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really Hunter's there for us. He knows. He knows if he makes a good product that we're going to be out of a job.
It's sweet of him.
There's everyone loves Muppets Christmas Carol, and I totally get it. My favorite adaptation of Christmas Carol is the Disney one because it has Scrooge McDuck. And when the two gentlemen come calling to ask for donations to the poor, he says, if I would give money to the poor, then nobody would need you to ask for money anymore. If I were to give money to the poor, then you would be out of a job. Oh, please, gentlemen, don't ask me to put you out of a job. Not on Christmas Eve. And that's what Triple H is doing. It's so nice. Yeah,
he's a sweetheart, that Hunter.
Yep. Right. Solomon says Kate has the worst music takes.
From someone who I know Ryan. He's my Wednesday night co-host, and admittedly is not a music guy. So if by bad takes you mean somewhat educated, then yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Julie Cutler saying, Alex and Kate, share your fave Nickelback song in honor of tonight's NXT. I don't know why it's tonight's NXT and a Nickelback thing.
My favorite Nickelback song is whatever one they did that sounds closest to Soundgarden, who they were trying to rip off.
Yeah. No, Nickelback's not Soundgarden, are they? They're Creed. Nickelback is like not religious Creed.
Who do you think all those bands were trying to be, though?
Oh, no. If they were trying to be Soundgarden, they all failed the worst of anybody who's ever failed anything.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Photograph, I'll say, as much as that's the one that gets made fun of the most, is probably their best song.
I like DJ Cummerbund's remix, which is look
at this
pants, feet, pants, feet. It's a really good remix. Look it up on TikTok. It's great. I don't know, what are we even doing?
We're putting off talking about the show.
Putting off talking about the show. We got something in there about Javier Bernal. Tom LaValle says, every time I hear Javier Bernal, I visualize Gael Garcia Bernal. It makes it easier, having never watched Javier. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. By the way, says Luis, everyone should watch Werewolf by Night with Gael Garcia Bernal. The best thing Marvel has done in years. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be the judge of that. But
I don't know who she is. Is she a babe?
It's a guy.
Oh, Gael is a dude?
Gael, which I believe is how you pronounce it.
Oh, yeah. No, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm very Marvel, DC, and most of pop culture. Just
not even Canada likes Nickelback, says James. Hey, so anyway, Bron Breakker won, but then JD McDonough, who was on commentary, and immediately Booker's like, I've never met this guy. I like him. And it's just like, you can't do that with everybody, Booker. Like, you can't, like, it's just such a weird thing. Oh my God, seriously? Yeah, no, Gareth's here. Good. Okay.
We're literally talking about pop punk, dude.
Dude, like, I don't even know what the hell that you're even like. Why? Whatever.
Because he's a pathetic, broken excuse for a person. True. So
anyway, yeah. So McDonough gets in the ring to intimidate Bron Breakker, I guess, and they come nose to nose, and then Dragunov's music hits. He gets in the ring, and there's a brawl. And he goes to do the Torpedo Moscow to McDonough, but McDonough dodges it, and he hits Breakker in the face. And then later, there's a segment where Ilya is trying to just walk out of the parking lot. He's trying to leave. And he gets interviewed. Hey, did you mean to do that to Breakker, or did you want to do that to McDonough? And they they don't yeah. Oh, there we go. Gael. Excuse me. Gael. Not Gail, but Gael. Thank you, Tom LaValle.
Speaking of name pronunciations, McDonough trying to pronounce his name was hysterical.
Yeah. It's good. So anyway, he's like, well, yeah, you know what? Inside the four-sided square ring circle, it is a battlefield, and everything is a fair game inside the battlefields. There are no rules of war. And then Grayson Waller shows up. He's wearing oversized sunglasses. He's wearing the exact same outfit that he was wearing earlier today when he posted a picture of it. And the pictures looked like he was winning the pooing it. It looked like he was winning winning the poo of it. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. So there you go. Good for you. Now we're done.
Thank you.
We're done talking about that. Okay, so
we're done talking about the Yankees tonight. You're adorable.
Tonight it's over. The games are over, and they're like, what is seriously? You have so many problems. Just so many problems with people. Anyway, so he looked like he was nude from the waist down, because it was the tone of the pants he was wearing was almost identical to the tone of his skin underneath the see-through shirt. And he was like, I look great. And I was like, yeah, but why aren't you wearing pants? Is what I quote tweeted his tweet, and he blocked me over asking why he wasn't wearing pants, because it did look like he wasn't wearing pants. I wasn't like, and then he blocked.
It was also silly. I think he might have taken it a little personally, because it was purely silly.
Anyway, so isn't your whole thing that like you're like social media guy? Is like the whole thing that you, because if I think social media guy, I think guy who if you have a problem with somebody who's quote tweeting your stuff, you quote tweet dunk on that person. You fire back. You do something. You sick all your followers on them or something. Just blocking me for saying that it looked like you were nude from the waist down seems kind of thin-skinned, at least for the current current gimmick you're having work. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, so Ilya was about to leave, but Waller was insulting him. So hey, I can go back in there. Let's have a match. And Waller's very upset that he got into having to have a match with Ilya Dragunov. I don't know why he is, because they booked him to last a really long time. I mean, I was thinking, oh, he's upset because he's blind. That's why he's wearing the glasses. He's wearing these big, thick glasses, these big, thick, dark glasses. And so he's hurt. He shouldn't have to have a match. And so that's how they'll protect him when Ilya Dragunov beats him in 45 seconds. No, the match is like 15 minutes long, and Grayson Waller gets in all kind of offense. I don't know why he's upset that he was in a match, because they made him look like $1 million. So
yeah, the one thing in a long string of things that made absolutely no sense to me.
Yep. Mama Elizabeth says, "Woohoo, Yankees!" Good for Mama Elizabeth. I'm very happy for Mama Elizabeth.
Can we pull this up again? I want to explain something. Okay, see this little spooky guy?
Yeah.
Okay, his name is Bones. And my mom has basically made him the elf on a shelf of their house. We get pictures every day of Bones sitting in my dad's chair on the iPad. It's pretty great. Bones in the homes.
Fantastic. Chi-Town Spurs says Cleveland sucks so much the river caught on fire. Yanks in 4 signed a miserable White Sox fan. There you go. As a Brewers fan, I'm just happy that the St. Louis Cardinals got beat in the first round. That's all I can say about that. And so there's an Alba Fyre video package.
There is.
She likes fire.
That is her entire character.
Yep, there you go. And after that, we got X. I don't know if you've honestly, the problem with this is this. If you've seen one Alba Fyre video package, you've seen all of them. It's just her and a bunch of fire imagery holding a bat that's on fire. There's nothing else. They're not doing anything with her besides that. There's been zero. I really liked the whole thing where they were like, okay, so this is her deal. She's a fire mage or whatever. Cool. Now what? And the answer after that was zero, nothing. We're not going to do anything beyond that. And that's where you lose me, unfortunately, because I really like Kaylee Ray. I think she's a fantastic performer,
fantastic.
But they've done nothing to help her, unfortunately.
She should be a pyromaniac.
Or something.
Just set everything on fire.
Yeah. Matthew Plus is here and says, Mama E is getting you coal for Christmas. And then says that this show is about as influential as my farts in the wind. Fewer people know you to exist than fit in the NXT arena each night. Go away. Well, that's not true. Because we routinely get
literally thousands of people watching us and you sending us your money to tell us that. I don't care about views. I care about dough. Okay. I care about getting that back. So that's what I care about. But Mama E, is that Mama Elizabeth or is that Big E's mom?
I think that, I'm not really sure. Mama E.
I have questions.
Yeah. Volab says, can you use Bones to recreate the music video of Bones by the Killers?
I could try.
I'm sure you could try. Yeah, you could try. Hey, we got the one good thing on the whole show. Axiom versus Nathan Frazier was a certified banger.
It was great. So good. So
good. We were 40% of the way into a match that was felt like it was. I don't know how long it was, but if it had been 3 times longer, I would not have complained. I don't think they could have kept up the pace for that long, but it was a hell of a match. I loved it. I don't understand. I fail to understand why both these guys aren't in the ladder match.
Yeah, that was my only complaint about it. The match was fantastic. This is also, as I said on Twitter, 2 of my favorite impressions of yours, just coming head to head, which is honestly enough of a long-term story for me. So I think that I do kind of wish this was more prominently featured. I really felt like this deserved a spot at whatever their Clash at the Castle special was, because they're two of the best in the company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you go, but I think either one of them in the ladder match is going to be really cool. It seems like Carmelo is getting called up, so I feel like maybe Nathan Frazier winning this puts him in line for the title, perhaps. So we'll see. But I mean, just the only good thing on the show, and it was great. So some of those spots were
it was
fantastic.
excellent. It was excellent. Ryan Ben says some of those impacts Axiom Frazier took. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wow, man. It was so good. I absolutely I think these guys killed it, and they almost killed each other. Some crazy impacts. I also love that it was basically just who got the best pinning predicament in the end when when they were too tired to kick out of stuff that was really hard to kick out of. I thought that was really great. Frazier wins. Again, not really sure why the match has to be 5 when it could be 6. And you couldn't have found a way for both guys to get in the match. Because if you're watching this and you're backstage, your response should be mine of how do we get both these guys in this? Like that backstage, you should be talking to other people. How do we get both guys in this? And I don't know what that is, but the answer's got to be something because I don't think they're actually going to find a way to put them both in the match. But it's...
They should both be prominently featured talents on this program. I think the other tricky thing with Axiom is I'm not sold on him having a mask when I've seen his face before. I don't know if they are either. That was something that kind of came in at the end of the Vince era. Like they might also try and figure out a third iteration with him because it's just so not necessary to pretend he's a luchador.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
So
it is very odd.
So that might be part of it, is he doesn't really like have a character right now.
Thomas Scott has an idea. There was one specific spot where they were pinning each other at the same time, and just have them count them double. And instead of neither of them getting in, Shawn Michaels says this series has been so great that both of you guys are in the ladder match, and the following NXT, we're gonna do this one more time. And we're going to have a winner because I love this. Do that. Please the crowd. Please us at home. It's the one good thing you got going on your TV program at the moment. Do more of it. There you go. There you go. Alpha Bill says the country of Australia does not recognize Mr. Waller. That's good. Apparently his passport has been stripped and he is a man without a country.
Son's blocking you. I actually thought in ring tonight he was really good. I think that might have had something to do with his opponent, but this character's not for me.
No, Apollo's segment. Apollo has a segment. His little writing. He's journaling. He's journaling. Doing some...
Let him be cool. Let him be a dude.
You and I were both so excited when he came to NXT for the first time because his first segment was walking up on Bron Breakker, and I was like, hell yeah, let's get a long feud between these two guys. They're gonna fucking kill it. I don't know if there's like why aren't we? This is what you got for him. Like I assume the pitch was. Like either they pitched to him or he pitched to them, go to NXT, and then was not followed by do a weird thing where I can see through time and feud with Grayson Waller forever. The and then was, and I become a champion, which I was supposed to be before I got called up way too early, because you'll never convince me that they weren't grooming Apollo Crews at the time to be the guy to take the belt off of Samoa Joe and then do a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. Like Samoa Joe had done his thing. Finn Balor was getting called up. Apollo Crews was winning and winning and winning and getting a lot more time and a lot more recognition, a lot more importance. Samoa Joe was the champion. He was a heel. There was a perfect, hot, young talent they had in the rising up the ranks to take the belt off of Samoa Joe. And then Shinsuke Nakamura is like, okay, now try that. Now let's see what happens. And that would have been great. And said they called him up and did nothing with him for 7 years. And he decided, well, maybe now I'd like to go back to NXT and do what I was supposed to do. And then.
And now sometimes his eyes bleed when he has visions. Like, it's such a weird
and now
thing.
Now his visions have Chucky in them. His visions have Chucky in them for some reason. His visions have Chucky in them.
I feel like usually when you go so far out of your way to do something so gimmicky, it's because you're compensating for someone's inability in the ring. Apollo Crews is like one of the most freakishly athletic dudes in the history of the world, with his strength and his quickness and his agility. He'll just like do a standing moonsault. And he's like, what, 250 pounds probably?
Yeah, he's just so good.
He's so good. Like, you don't have to. They consistently like do too much work with some of these people. Like some guys don't need this much hand holding. Like he doesn't need visions. He can just go wrestle great matches. Like there are people who can get over just on their wrestling ability, and then there's people who have upside in other ways where you have to go out of your way to do all this work. And there seems to be no distinction or clarification around which talents need those and which ones don't. Because, man, Apollo Crews does not. And, man, did they do this with him.
Sure did. Dear Journal, says JW Pringle. Dear Journal, today I pet a puppy, got in 3 fights in the parking lot, saw through space and time while making contact with aliens. Typical Tuesday. There you go.
I love that.
That's all. That's good. Apollo needs Ben Stein's Clear Eyes spray. For dry, red eyes. Clear Eyes is awesome. Wow. Is that good?
That was excellent.
I love that commercial. It ran for so long. Indy Hartwell decided is now a heel out of the blue. She's being mean to Valentina Feroz, and then they have a match. And during the match, Sanga's out there with Valentina Feroz, and Veer shows up, and Sanga's like, and then walks up, and Veer says, and Sanga's like, and they walk away together. I don't know what we said. Like, hey, guys, they're giving out free churros in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, right. Like I'm risking my life in the parking. Those better be some good churros. I'm going into the parking lot.
They're free churros. They're free churros, and that makes a big statement right there.
They better be to die for if they're in the NXT parking lot.
There you go. Yeah.
I actually think this is a clever storytelling device if it's done better. We rarely see someone. I feel like we don't see someone go to the ring and get to be in someone's corner and then get called back in a way. They could pay it off. I don't trust them to, but like, it was so vague this week.
This is.
But I like this idea. I just feel like they didn't execute it well. But I was like, that's actually kind of a fun thing that we don't see in wrestling a lot.
I'm telling you exactly what this is. They're never going to pay it off. This is just the justification for Sanga never being in Valentina Feroz's corner ever again. And now he will come out with Veer and be a tag team, and they'll never actually have him appear on screen with Valentina Feroz because Veer came out and said, "Hey, free churros," and then they left together. They'll never pay it off. We'll never find out what he said to him. They're just going to keep on going because what has this particular episode of NXT taught us? They don't
Nothing
give
matters.
a damn about storylines or justifying anything. They're just got to do stuff, and we're supposed to not care. And guess what? From my Twitter timeline, most people don't care. So
I do, but
I know.
now I'm really interested in these churros.
Yeah. John Joseph Arbasinger sends in a humper chat and says, Matthew Plus is a meme, right? No person who is so versed in the world of wrestling media would continue to dump money at the fate of individuals he believes to be shit. No. He is the child who thinks the best way is to flirt is through belittlement.
It's that one. It's that one.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. That's good.
I'm really pretty. It happens a lot.
That does happen a lot. Jason PS3 says, this NXT proves how much I miss William Regal. How much we all miss William Regal.
He's over there flirting with Excalibur on AEW, man.
Honestly, like here's the other thing. Like somebody said this too. Like Booker T is so out of place in NXT because he doesn't know who any of these people are. He doesn't care to find out. Like he's just there to just saying things like, "Let's get it cracking." And the guy who you bring in is a guy they released. You bring in Nigel McGuinness, him and Vic Joseph, because you've got so many NXT UK guys on the roster now and girls. He knows all of them. He's worked with them extensively. He's the one who can let us in on their stuff. Plus, he's a fantastic color guy. And there's no reason to release him because guess what? Even if you just say, we're never going to have Nigel McGuinness on commentary again, what you do is you make him the new William Regal because that would be awesome. Nigel McGuinness would be a fantastic on-screen GM. He'd be really, really good at it. Now, here's what I want them to do. I want them to find a way for, if they have an ROH TV deal, I want to find a way for him to be involved on that because Nigel McGuinness, if you do not know, was the shit in ROH back in the day. He was so good, man.
I think that might be the case because a lot of the language around this was that they parted ways and not was released, whatever. I think it was almost like, hey, there's this upheaval in commentary. NXT UK doesn't exist anymore. So my hope is that he's going to ROH. If you're WWE, I think you're stupid to allow him to go, but I respect it because people should be able to work to their potential. I also think it's egregious that when Ian Riccaboni and Veda Scott are free agents, that they're not in this. Mauro Ranallo. There's so many eligible announcers that would do a better job than either Kevin O'Patrick, Irishman man yesterday, or that Booker T was doing with NXT, man. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me what Booker T did tonight was better than what Mauro Ranallo could have given you. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing was a mess. The match was fine. I think Indy Hartwell, you either need to belt her or call her up. She's kind of at a point where I don't think there's a ton left to develop with her in developmental. She's main roster ready. They might call her up. Or if you want to make her time there productive, at least give her a reign where she's helping other people get over, etc.
She won the match with an outside-in suplex, which I've never seen before.
Yeah,
I've seen the move. I've never seen it finish anybody before. But why wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a hell of a move.
So yeah, that is interesting. JD Ringle said, "Did someone say churros?" I did.
We did. I also
if somebody told me that there were free churros literally anywhere in my current city, I would drive there right now.
I was gonna say there's a lot of people that I'm closer to than Valentino Feroz and Sanga are that I would leave for some free churros, especially if they were just in the parking lot. So I could understand that justification. If Sanga and Veer are a tag team that stay this way and not hey, ethnicity is a gimmick, I'll forgive this a little bit more if that's the way they're going. Because at the end of the day, this is developmental, right? Things are going to change without logic. There's things you can control, and there's things you can control a little bit less, and that's where my problem is. Yeah. But I'm very much interested in them as a tag team as Senga has been presented over the past few weeks, months, than they were in Endushare.
Yeah. Luis says the only reason that Nigel's on NXT because he wanted to leave. And he says that's rec spec from me though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think he's so great. I loved the pairing of him and Morrow. They got so genuinely excited about professional wrestling, and I think that's a good thing. And that's just me. But if he does wind up in ROH, maybe he'd be working with Ian Riccaboni, who Tom LaValle points out that he's doing a fantastic job with Daddy Magic on Elevation.
Yes.
So there you go.
He's the best eligible announcer right now.
Jam Beard says prediction: former ROH champ Nigel versus Jericho. No, I don't think Nigel is cleared to wrestle kind of literally ever again.
No, but him leading a stable could be fun.
Yeah,
they're clearly setting up some sort of sports entertainment versus ROH real wrestling type thing. So if he was going to lead that, that would be cool.
Yeah. In the parking lot, no, I'll pass. No churros for me. No, Veer came for churros. That's what he did.
That's right.
If Veer is near your churros, you might want to check and see what that dipping sauce is made out of. Anyway, Pretty Deadly is in the Raven's Nest, and they hit on Indy Hartwell something. I don't know. She seems, I don't know. It was weird. Michael Dammit, big sport of the show, helping me out. Honestly, to no avail. The blonde yes boy is Elton Prince, and the brunette yes boy is Kilt Wilson. He says he's just helping a brother out. They're yes boy 1 and yes boy 2, blonde and brunette. Yeah. I'm never going to commit their names to memory, ever. It's kind of a gimmick. It's kind of a bit. And so yeah, blonde and brunette. Yes boy 1, yes boy 2.
For example, we call them the yes boys far more frequently than we call them Pretty Deadly as well.
Right. No, they're definitely the yes boys. And here they are in mop form. There's the Moppelgangers of. You can tell that I believe is Kit Wilson there on the left and Elton Prince on the right, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. Yes boy 1 and yes boy 2. Yes mop 1 and yes mop 2.
I think Elton's on the left. I think the pink hair is blonde yes boy, right?
Probably. Here's the thing is I don't know which one is the blonde and which one is the brunette, even though I'm looking at the sour chat from Michael Dammit, because I don't care to ever find out. But
that's fair. That's fair. Dem Loafs, the Walking Loaves of White Blood, we were forced to because they became champions, and it's like a huge breakout thing.
No, they also because Brutus and Julius, because they decided to make it a ridiculous, funny Shakespearean naming device.
That's fair.
So yeah. Anyway, they are dressed as I believe what they would call American sporting fans. One guy has a big foam cowboy hat. He's going for Halloween. He's going as Robert O'Neill, and on the other guy has one of those hard hats with beer cans on the side of it, and they have G and O painted on their torsos. They're shirtless, and on the back they have P and D written. So they go PD. I don't know if they're big fans of police department or what's going on with that. But anyway, they're there to watch the triple threat match for the number 1 contendership for their tag titles between Double Vest and the Beej, who the Beej, I mean, I'm gonna say 6'3", 230, maybe 240, if that. And Booker T just insisted on calling him, this super heavyweight. What a super heavyweight he is. I'm like, no, he's a regular sized wrestler. I don't understand, but his partner's very large. Somehow, are you somehow confusing the two? I don't know, whatever. Also, the Dyad is there, formerly GYV. Pretty Deadly are firmly heels. So we can probably safely say there was no chance for a different heel team to face them because that's not how they book things in NXT.
Of course.
I certainly went into this whole thing thinking Double Vest and the Beach had this thing locked up and they was going to run that thing back again at Hollywood Havoc. But instead it was the third team. The third team being Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. I have it called up on my phone here, the cage match for this particular team. And we're going to go back through the months and we're going to count the number of times they've had a win on NXT television.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I want this. Here we go. Okay. So on NXT television, well, this was on Level Up on September 13th. So not on NXT television. But they won that match. That's good. Level Up again on August 23rd. They won that match. That's good. Doesn't count. Let's see here. They lost to Pretty Deadly in 4.5 minutes on August 9th. Then on Level Up. So they Level Up doesn't count, but they did win that match on the July 26th. Then they lost on NXT TV 2 matches in a row to the Dyad and to Channing Lorenzo Stacks and Tony D back on July 12th. They won again, but that was on Level Up, which doesn't count, on the 5th of July. And then they lost again on the 25th of June on regular NXT TV to Pretty Deadly. Look, here we go. On June 10th. Oh, this was the one where they somehow beat Legado del Fantasma because Tony D cheated to help Legado lose. So if you have to go back to June 10th of this year.
For a win that they were not even the storyline of.
Yeah. It feels weird that, like, I don't even dislike the guys that much. Just do the work of showing them us on TV winning matches so that then we feel like they're not falling out of the sky when you give them a number 1 contendership. Like,
Alex, they wouldn't even do the work of, hey, they are winning on Level Up, so that's how they got here. There wasn't even a video package that said they've been winning on Level Up, and that's why they've gotten here to this point, because they're ready to level up. My God, like, I don't like Chase U, but, like, it would have at least made sense because Andre Chase has been winning. If he was like, I'm not really having, like, I'm not feeling singles. I'm going to grab Bodhi and I'm going to jump in this match. At least he's won a couple times. Like, my goodness. It's just, I'll say this, the match actually wasn't terrible. This was, I think, Double Vest in the Beach's best showing because it was more than a bunch of lariats.
It was definitely Double Vest's best showing. He was doing some stuff that was great. He did a pop-up into the ropes on the outside.
Yeah, that was cool.
Back, and then a lariat, which I'd never seen before, and I liked a lot. This is it was what it was. But here's the deal. NXT used to be the place for tag team wrestling. And if these are your top 3 tag teams, considering how they've been booked, like, I mean, you can't find time to put these guys who wind up being the number 1 contenders. You can't find time to put them on television. The Dyad, like, it's GYV. We know they're a great tag team, but they're not allowed to show that as the Dyad. And Double Vest and the Beach have always felt like a weird 1980, like Hillbilly Jim should be managing them in 1992. They are a pale imitation of the Smoking Guns, who were a really bad gimmick tag team in the era of bad wrestling on Raw. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I am this, but I also feel like it. The old man just being like, I remember American Alpha versus the Revival. Oh, those were some good matches back in the day. And somebody's like, Grandpa, what are you talking about? No, there was a 2 out of 3 falls match between American Alpha and the Revival on a regular episode of NXT television. It wasn't even on a takeover. And oh my goodness, those boys could wrestle. The chain wrestling between Dax. There wasn't even called that. He was Scott Dawson back at the time, but he and Chad Gable were just chain wrestling all over the ring. And oh, that Jason Jordan, when he would pull the straps down, you knew you were in for an ass kicking. But anyway, what's happening? When's dinner? That's what I feel like thinking about when NXT was good.
That was beautiful. First of all, second of all, there's 2 issues going on here, right? Both 3. We talk about wrestling fundamentals versus taste, and now adding the third element of actual work rate. Work rate wise, I don't think we'll ever get back to black and gold. Taste wise is completely variable. Logical booking is like the easiest thing in the world to fix. It's so simple to have your number 1 contenders have won a match on your television program between June 10th and now.
Yeah.
At all. And it is a shame because this was like a better match for a couple of the teams involved. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Jacy, because with Bray back, this is just, it's dead. Like, this thing is just dead. Whatever Jacy's doing, it's gone. It doesn't work anymore. It was barely working anyway. But if the point is to develop you to get to the main roster, you can't be doing the same creepy ass shit. No, they can't stop it dead in the water. It's been going on too long. But like, this is done. It's done. So all 3 of those things were in play tonight. The booking probably being the most egregious, because I think what people miss is there's a way to, if you want to have a team upset another team, it's not to just throw them into something, especially when we have been seeing them lose on occasion, and they've done nothing to make them feel serious even in their presentation. Like, these guys have been a joke since they came up. So, it just was, it was a decent enough match, poorly executed from the fundamentals of, I don't like any of the 3 teams that are in there very much from a taste perspective. The wrestling fundamentals were all over the place, and the work rate was better, but also there's a big span in there when you're talking about the guys in GYV versus Double Vest in the Beach. And that's just something I have to accept about NXT in general. You're always going to have people that are on the cusp of the main roster and people that are still working level up in the same ecosystem. So it's never going to fully be there. But like, just the very basic thing of having guys get wins on your television. We saw this yesterday, man. We saw it on the main roster again, too. It's like we're seeing Bayley lose. You made them come in and feel so important at SummerSlam, and they've just been on this losing trajectory since. Like, you can fix a lot of things about your program, but if you don't fix fundamental wins and losses, which is like the simplest thing to fix, mysteriously seems to be the thing that's getting left out in the wind. I just don't know. I can't get invested in your program because winning and losing doesn't mean anything. And then what's the point of a wrestling match? Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. That was many, many years ago, Grandpa. Let's go get your pills.
Pills, did you say? Did you say pills? Well, there's all sorts of pills that you might need at that age, Alex.
Possibly, yeah.
It's true. You don't always have to be of a certain age to need certain types of pills, though, you know? You could just need a little extra confidence for some areas of your life. That might include being in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need a little enhanced performance. Sometimes these triple threats don't exactly leave you standing on end. You know what I mean? So here's a way to make sure that you are.
Is your penis soft? Is it difficult to get hard? Do you have issues with sexual performance? Do you have issues with sexual confidence? BlueChew.com, code FIGHTFUL, gives you your first shipment of Blue Chew for free. It will help you get a harder, stronger erection. It will make you more confident in your sexual performance. You take an online questionnaire. You work with an online physician. You don't wait in line at the pharmacy. You don't wait in line at the doctor's office. It's prepared and shipped direct in a discreet package. That way, nobody knows that you are getting Blue Chew in order to make your penis erect. Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL gets you your first shipment free if you want an erect penis. I'm going to end the ad now.
Morg Surdick said, really thought that they're compensating for something line was going to be a segue into Blue Chew ad read. No, she found something else. Thank you for the work / torture you two do / go through. And Jambeard says, if you came for the churros too fast, Blue Chew code FIGHTFUL, says Jambeard. Thank you very much. So Ryan Ben says, not going to lie, the Tampa King Moore contender match wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad. Just ultimately, like, what does it matter? You're not doing any work to like make anybody seem important. So Edris Enofe and Enofe Blade have a match versus the Yes Boys at Halloween Havoc, and I mean, I don't know that's the problem. Jake Sellers, that's the whole point. Like, Jake Sellers is off to a hot start. Sean, LOL, Booker of the Year. I mean, like, you got to do the work. I think you got to do the work to like make people believe in people before you start giving them title matches. But that's just, I don't know.
I got hiccups. Sorry.
Brosephine says Alex needs to release an autobiography called Tuesdays with Alex.
Guys, I'm just going to take the transcripts from everything I learned from Alex on a weekly basis.
There you go.
Tuesdays with Alex.
That's good. Jason Jordan. Now, we found out years later he was actually Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. Nobody knew at the time, but he was actually Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. And then there was a time where he actually turned out not to be, and that was a weird thing also. But he teamed with Seth Rollins, and then he got a year.
Okay, Grandpa. Let's get you back to your AEW.
And then he hurt his neck, and we never saw him again.
Sure that happened.
It did. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we all know that Gable would have been his son. Look at their suplexes. That's hereditary.
It's hereditary. It was true. This is so good though. Again, something you would never understand. Jason Jordan wore an onion on his belt, which was his style at the time. And Dave, he gave me a nickel, which we called bees, because nickels had a picture of bees on them. Give me 5 bees for a quarter, you'd say. Anyway, that's when my Jello. Pawlowski says
that's fantastic.
Says JDB Pringle. There you go. New Sour Graps character, Pawlowski. There you go. That's good.
Your great grandkids are like, don't tell me about Bruno Sammartino again.
No, listen. He used to be the big dog, and then he was the tribal chief, and we all had to acknowledge him. So that'll be it. And then the one they called Dean, he left and he went somewhere else, and he showed up and he was a different guy. There we go.
Oh, Grandpa.
Yes, we got Pawlowski jukebox requests for later tonight. Thank you, Louise. Wonderful. Just more things. So yes, Alba Fyre faced Jacy Jane. Jacy Jane cut a promo on Alba Fyre beforehand saying what happened to Mandy Rose was that I guess we found out that tragically Mandy Rose had a death in the family, which is why she has not been on NXT, and we obviously send out our thoughts and prayers to Mandy Rose for that's a horrible thing to have to go through, which explains why she's not here. And again, that's real life, but they've written her off with a different thing on television. That's a thing we're going to talk about in a bit. So Jacy Jane and Alba Fyre have a fine little match. It's short. Alba Fyre wins. She hits the gory bomb. As Alpha Bill says, fire, fire, fire. Just using up all the fire puns. Thank you very much. So,
you know what was fire? Aaron
was
Judge stealing second base, them overthrowing second. He lands on third. Doesn't matter because Rizzo hits a 2-run bomb immediately after anyway. Hey, that was fire.
Okay. Sonia, somebody in the audience after Alba Fyre wins attacks Alba Fyre, and then she unzips the hoodie that she's wearing, and it turns out it's Sonia Deville, and I lost my mind. Okay.
So did I. We were the only two that did.
And I thought, oh, she wants to get in on this. She's come for Mandy Rose's title, and she doesn't care who she's got to get through to get it. That's what I thought until I saw her teaming up with Jacy Jane and Gigi Dolan on Kaylee Ray, and then I was like, no, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do it because I know I saw this. I saw this thing. This was to me the best thing. There was some really good stuff in NXT in WWE during the pandemic. There was some really good stuff, but the best stuff was Sonia Deville, who turned fully heel and was one of the best heel characters and personas. Some of the promos that she cut were just amazing. She's like Mandy Rose. The only thing that you have in your going for you is this face. Yeah, you're pretty, but so what? If you didn't have that, you'd be in the gutter tomorrow. And I'm gonna prove it because I'm gonna disfigure you. I'm gonna make you so ugly with the beating that I give you that no one's gonna want to employ you, no one's gonna love you, nothing. She ruined her life by doing the whole thing with Otis and the whole, like, a hacker had to reveal all the shit that Sonia Deville did to Mandy Rose behind the scenes. They literally spent months on it. It was a story that started in February where the whole thing of like Otis and Dolph Ziggler, but we realized later, months later, that it was actually Sonia who was in charge of the whole thing. And they had a big blow-off match where literally was just the loser leaves WWE match. In SummerSlam during the pandemic, SummerSlam 2020, Sonia Deville was willing to put her entire career on the line in kayfabe for the opportunity to disfigure Mandy Rose's face so that, as she said, everyone in her life who she thinks loves her will abandon her because the only thing that she's got going for is how sexy she is. And Mandy Rose beat Sonia Deville, and Sonia Deville went away. Now, the real reason she went away is to deal with a horrible situation that was going on in her life. But that was not the story that they gave us on television. This is the thing. It's like, people will complain, but in real life, but this is crucially not real life. This is a produced television show with writers and storylines. And the storyline they gave us was that these two women, that Sonia Deville had been harboring for years, secret resentment and hatred and loathing for Mandy Rose, and went to extra lengths to ruin her life and wanted to literally cut her face up so that no one would ever love her. But all I've been told on Twitter is that was 2 years ago. They got over it. And apparently, Sonia Deville is interviewed and says, yes, so Mandy Rose and I, You know, we went through some things, but we got past it. When? Like, I know in real life they're best friends. They run a donut company together. But in kayfabe on television, they want to murder each other. You have to do the work to show the difference. You can't just wave it all away with, yeah, we had our differences, but we're fine.
It's also
what the hell?
It's also, well, it's not I had my differences. She wanted to maim her, as you said. She tried to break up her relationship. She blamed her for them not having the tag titles because she was too stupid to see Sonia's plan that she had been diabolically orchestrating the whole time. And in addition, it is a complete abandonment of everything that she has been as a character to this point, and the continuation of Mandy Rose's character. She was anti the "you are hot but you," she called her, I swear to God, because I'll never forget it, it was Pandemic Wrestling, and Pandemic Wrestling sucked, especially in the beginning. They figured it out with Zelina and the cool stuff she was doing with Andrade. Bayley and Sasha figured it out, but before any of that happened, this was happening. This was happening, and this was working. It was a perfect blend of like humor and then turned deadly serious. And Sonia Deville called her a bottle blonde Barbie with no talent on my television. And this entire Toxic Attraction run has been built upon. What have we been saying for literally the entire length of Mandy Rose's reign? She has been hot, and they've rarely talked about her in-ring ability. None of her title wins have come on the credibility of her wrestling. They've all been sneaky wins. They've all been built on the interference of her also hot friends. Her also hot friends who were tag team champions that defended the belt twice, lost, and didn't care that they lost. They still think they're the shit because they're hot. I think people retroactively remember this as a frenemies Paige and AJ situation when it was not. That's the thing that's kind of breaking my heart about people not remembering this, because the beauty of this was it was not frenemies. Not every female was friends angle has to end up with them being frenemies as often as that happens. But what was so beautiful and what worked so well about this angle was they were doing something with Otis that they hadn't done, to the point where he won Money in the Bank. He shouldn't have, but he won it because he was over. Mandy was in a role that was highlighting her strengths and minimizing her weaknesses. Ziggler is going to be great wherever you plug. In my opinion, you plug him in here in a role like this, he's going to be great there. And what it did was it cemented Sonia Deville as a top heel on the roster in an authentic way. And we hadn't seen that before. And I really liked Sonia before that. Put your hair up and square up, Sonia, is for me. All right? I loved that. But what this did was prominently feature her outside of the title picture. And we never get stories outside of the fucking title picture. It eventually led to like the tag picture, but still, like,
hold on. I want to address this. I'm seeing this. That it was all about Otis. It was all about Otis until WrestleMania when he had his match with Ziggler. And then that was right after that, in May, I believe, is when they revealed that Sonia was behind the thing all along. And then the entire summer was a feud between Mandy Rose and Sonia Deville, with her attacking Mandy Rose backstage over and over and over again.
Constantly. If you go YouTube clips, there's just like, Sonia would not let Mandy Rose exist. And I actually thought this was good because, again, this was Pandemic Wrestling and no one knew what they were doing yet. Yeah. So they were kind of running it almost into the ground with how much Sonia was attacking her. But it worked because she just wouldn't let Mandy be, because she was trying to destroy her face to disfigure her. Because if she didn't have her pretty face, there was nothing to her in Sonia's mind. Yeah. Yeah. And so that whole story getting wiped away with no explanation is such a bummer for me. Like, I loved, and I also feel like current Sonia Deville should be sniffing around the Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler kind of picture right now, because she also has that MMA experience. Why not throw her in that? She can speak on the mic far better than Rousey, better than Baszler, in my opinion. Like, I think before they, just ran it into the ground, what her and Naomi was doing was a bright spot for a little bit in a really, really not good era of wrestling. Like, Sonia's delivered pretty much on everything they've asked, and to just erase all of the work that they did is so lame. And if you don't want to ruffle its feathers because of what happened in real life, I completely get that, but then just don't do this angle. You get to write whatever you want. You get to write whatever show you want. Or you can get to this point of them reuniting and being friends again, but you have to do creative work to get there.
You got to do the work. You got to do the work.
This was not we had differences bullshit. She was trying to disfigure her face for a few months. Mm-hmm. And to just abandon everything she stood for as a character when Mandy Rose's whole reign has been built on the fact that she's hot, like, is just it's a disservice to all the work that they already did, and it's a disservice to the character that Sonia's been, I feel like, this entire time. So
anyway, Sonia Deville versus Kaylee Ray next week.
This will probably be a great match.
It's going to be a great match. Yeah. Jake Salazar said, reminding us Triple H had to sign off on this. Yeah, we don't. He's, it's a thing. Like, here's the deal. I don't know, man. It's a problem. This is ultimately honestly, it's a me problem, because like nobody cares as much about this shit as I do, and it is my problem. But like, I feel like I should be rewarded for paying attention over the years, as opposed to mocked and derided. And like, just like the people I know who know this shit has happened are on my side, but there are so many more of them who are like, yeah, whatever, who cares? I expect them to wave shit away. And they know that most of the people watching expect it or are okay with it, which is why they never actually do the work. And even like, here's the deal. Jake Salazar is a perfect example of this. Eddie Kingston hates Claudio for something that happened over 15 years ago. That's great. They should. Eddie Kingston knows more than anybody else that this shit to the characters on screen is real. It is real to them. To like, it's still real to me, damn it. Like, no, not like I think wrestling is real, but within the world of the show that you're writing, that everything has a reality to it, even if it's a world that takes place, hundreds of years ago, or in a far off planet or something. The inherent reality of the show that you're watching is its own reality. Don't bend the reality to squeeze something in because you're too lazy to figure anything else out.
Well, in addition to that, to me, whenever people tell me wrestling's cheesy or whatever, I'm like, yeah, no, I know. So, like, but the thing is, if you're going to make me buy into, why Eddie Kingston's like my favorite dude in the world? Because all that guy wants to do is physically beat the crap out of people. Yep. And when you want to do that, and you convince me that, going into a wrestling ring makes a lot of sense. Whenever you intentionally cut the legs out from underneath stuff like this, the idea of, I'm so angry at you, it had to boil over to the point where we are now physically in a match. The whole concept of wrestling gets diluted, in my opinion. That's my thing. If the heat gets taken out of what you're building, you either got to hate the person you're fighting, or you got to want the championship real bad, or ideally kind of both, right? So when you create all this venom where someone's trying to disfigure someone's face, I can buy that should be in a wrestling ring. And then just, oh no, we were friends, we had our differences. You were attacking her backstage for existing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it just kind of a bummer?
Jake Salazar asking me, on a scale of 1 to the city of Atlanta after that Super Bowl, how irritated were you about Sonia with the toxic attraction? I'm not irritated with Sonia. She didn't write this shit. And like, I'm sure she's going to be really happy to be helping her real life friend, Mandy Rose. However, I am always going to be angry with lazy creative who doesn't take the time to do. And listen, they had an opportunity to have Sonia say, listen, Mandy and I patched things up. It took a long time, but I've seen what she's been doing in NXT. It seems like maybe she's seen the light about being her little perky blonde self wasn't actually working out for her so well, was it? So we had a talk and we realized maybe we have more in common than we originally thought. They could have given her a damn paragraph instead of we had differences, but that's behind us. That's one damn line. It's not enough. Give her at least something. Give her something.
Would put my career on the line to dismember you.
Feeling Dreepy is a very good point from Feeling Dreepy. He says, when you think about how most Randy Orton feuds are, someone did something small to annoy him in the past, and years later he is choosing to kill them for it. Time heals all wounds is never a viable explanation for anything in WWE. Randy Orton holds grudges for literally years and years and years and years and years and years.
Well, and especially when said grudge is, I threatened to ruin your life. I wouldn't just be like, water under the bridge.
Mm-hmm. We could see the origins of the Proud Girls. They became friends years ago in NXT, and they're very, very excited about how they're going to win the titles in that little segment. That was a thing. We got a weird little segment with Hank and all the security bros and Quincy Elliott, who's wearing a winter hat for some reason. And Hank says, hey, good luck in your match with Zion Quinn next week. And Quincy says, thank you, Hanky. And Quincy walks away. And you can't see it because of the angle. And when Hanky decided to do it, but apparently Hanky smacks Quincy on their bottom as Quincy is walking away. And then Quincy says, ooh, Hanky, and continues on their merry way. And then all the security bros are like, now that's chemistry. Ooh, I see it. Don't you see it? What is this for? Who is this thing? Are we deciding is there going to be a relationship here between Hanky and Quincy? What is this? I don't know what this is.
They don't know what this is, which is
good.
The part that bothers me. That's not good.
It just feels weird. It does feel like they're doing this, and I don't like it.
Let them be themselves. That's it. They rarely handled this well. They rarely handle representation of anything LGBTQ well, and they haven't screwed it up so bad yet, but they've screwed it up enough that they've confirmed my suspicions that I shouldn't have faith that they know what they're doing with this.
Yeah. Jake Salazar says that Alex just wants to be rewarded for his long-term viewership of a product and not being like the basic groups who don't keep up. Yes. I'm sorry. This is my job. Watching all of this and keeping up with it and keeping a log in my brain of all of this stuff is what my chosen profession is. And I don't like it when I feel like that is not being what is being actively mocked by the people.
Yeah, it's not wanting to be rewarded. It's wanting to not be insulted. And on top of that, there are performers that have to go out there and do this shit. That's my thing is I don't like it as a viewer, but you have some of the best wrestling talent in the world that you are sending out there to betray everything that they have put their time and mental energy and creative energy into, to then just undo it because you're lazy is real lame. Real lame. Especially when they are creative and putting themselves out there physically constantly. Right. Lame.
Jake Salazar is saying they barely handle representation of their black male talent well because they always end up bearing them to Brock. Well, there you go.
Look at the women's roster. It's like Bianca and BFAB, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Not good.
There you go. I'm very happy, Emily, that I could do that.
Good morning.
Wes Lee faced Stacks, who's no longer Channing Lorenzo, so I can't make fun of his name anymore. But Wes Lee defeated Channing. Channing was doing as much as he possibly could to attack the knee. They showed the video again, and I don't understand how that hurts a PCL. I don't like maybe he heard it earlier in the match and was hobbling around on it, but when he realized he couldn't stand back up again was after that thing. But the drop toe hold where his knee lands on the PCL is the posterior cruciate ligament. It's in the back of your knee. You can't I don't understand how that usually happens when your knee is horribly hyperextended, where it bends the wrong way, and his didn't do that. So their rationale for when he hurt the knee and the injury they're telling us doesn't make sense with the actual anyway. But Channing kept trying to hurt Wes Lee, but Wes Lee was able to beat him. I don't know what else to say about this.
I don't think there's a ton to say about it, except that they're clearly smelling around for call-ups, and there's obvious ones, and then there's ones that are obvious to me that I don't know if it's obvious to them.
Mm-hmm.
Wes Lee's on that list of I don't think, unless you're going to give him a North American title reign, I don't think there's anything left for him to accomplish here. Right. And I think as you're growing stables, he's someone that could certainly be in the mix of making some stables a really, really fun place. You suggested a him and Ricochet tag team a while ago. I still think that's great. Match was fine. Wes Lee's incredible. This was where Booker was almost his worst on commentary to me, I think, because he was like, I don't know this kid, but he seems fun, basically. I was like, did you try, Booker? Did you try it all? So this, I thought the commentary was just at a low point of the night. But decent enough match, and Wes Lee's a fantastic wrestler. He's not going to be putting on bad matches unless he's in there with someone truly atrocious.
Wes Lee is great. He really is. He got attacked by Trick Williams and Carmelo after the match, and then Oro Mensah came down to help. I was very happy they didn't shoehorn in a Von Wagner and a Nathan Frazier into this, so we wouldn't get everybody who's in the ladder match fighting each other for no reason 2 weeks beforehand. The finish of this match leads to a backstage segment with Channing Stacks, with Stacking. And Stacking is talking to Tony D, who comes in on a pair of crutches. He's like, hey, what are you doing out there? You embarrassed the family. You embarrassed me. You're out there trying to teach this guy a lesson. He beats you. What are you doing? Like, I'm sorry, boss. I tried, but he's so damn fast and whatever. Yeah, you're gonna have to face the music next week because you got a match next week too. Like, well, who's it against? I'm not gonna tell you that. Why would I divulge that information unto you at this time? You're gonna find out next week when the music hits. And next week is Tuesday. Next week is the Tuesday AEW show. They are booking all kinds of main roster talent on their Tuesday show for Halloween Havoc. Somebody from the main roster showing up to beat up Stacks. I don't know who. So Luis thinks Toothless Timmy. I don't think it's going to be somebody returning. I think it's going to be somebody from the main roster. Could be Omos. Honestly, it might be something like that. Like some ridiculous. I could see MVP and Tony D having a business relationship. That could make sense. Honestly, that's probably my pick. My pick right now is they would have Omos show up to beat up Tony D. To beat up Stacks for Tony D. But they're also having another thing where Cora Jade, who is wearing Finn Balor's mask from Extreme Rules as a hat. I don't know why. Hey, it's black and it's got spikes on it. I'm a heel now. Oh, Luis is saying it's gonna be Braun. Might be Braun. Could very well be Bron. I still like the idea of it. I don't like it being Omos, but I still like the idea of Tony D having a business relationship with MVP, because MVP and Tony D are all about the business, the business. And so I like that better storyline wise. But if it's just Braun showing up and beating him, whatever.
I don't have a lot of investment in a Channing Stacks centerpiece storyline.
No.
I need Tony D to I need them to either have more people or Tony D to be cleared to wrestle, because it's just not working for me.
Right. Roxy is Cora Jay's like, Roxy doesn't have any friends. Roxanne doesn't have any friends. Everyone thinks she's a loser. So there's no one she's going to find to face me next week. So whatever. And then Mackenzie Mitchell's like, no, actually, Roxanne told me she's going to be on SmackDown. And she's going to be finding her person there. Then Cora Jay's like, hey, do you have Rhonda's number? No, I don't have Rhonda's number. Okay, well, she leaves. And then Mackenzie was like, actually, I do have Rhonda's number. Back to you. I don't understand what that was for, why that was a thing.
I think Cora it was just cute.
Cora Jade has another thing later where she says, oh, by the way, I just got a text back from Rhea Ripley, and she says I can come to Raw to find somebody to face Roxanne. And so it's going to be Cora Jade is going to appear on Raw, and she's going to recruit somebody to face Roxanne.
Dominic Mysterio versus Roxy, the dream match we've all wanted.
It ain't gonna be Rhea, I'll tell you that. It's gonna be, here's the thing. On Raw, an active member of the women's roster who's a heel, has to be a heel, who is in a position where they can go to NXT and lose a match to Roxanne Perez.
Either Nikki or Doudrop.
Maybe. I was thinking Tamina, because they always love talking about how hard it is to beat Tamina, and I think you might be right. It might be Doudrop. But I
think Nikki's getting repackaged right now.
Yeah, it might be my guess. No one's meaner than Tamina. And then Roxanne is going to show up.
True. That's like the one thing we know about her, is that she's actually really nice.
Roxanne's going to show up this Friday on SmackDown, and she's going to find somebody to beat Cora Jade. So here you go. Same question. Babyface on the SmackDown roster, who is in a position where they can show up on NXT and lose a match to Cora Jade.
Natty. I don't want to say it, but Aaliyah.
Natty, I think. But Natty, I don't even know what Natty is. Didn't Natty already have the match with Cora Jade in NXT? They're really going to run that back? They might, honestly. They may not fucking care.
Who else is over there? Shotzi can't lose. Like, they just
they started her winning. I mean, honestly, like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just put her in this thing with Raquel.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's Nat.
Aaliyah, I don't know if Aaliyah is actually injured, but they've said that she's injured in storyline because they realize she can't wrestle, so they got her off of television.
Based on her Instagram post today, I think that she is not actually injured.
Okay.
I don't know if Lacey is a face or not. Aaliyah, I feel like if she goes to NXT, she'll go back to NXT, which is the kind of like good and bad of that. But it'll probably just be Natalya. They love putting her in situations like that. It could be Natalya, but Beth is a face. I was gonna say they could send Natalya and Beth both, which would be really, really fun. But Beth being a face doesn't work with her facing Roxanne, though. That could just be a fun face-on-face dream match kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, the Cameron Grimes interview during the match, the Dyad had he ran out and did a big cave in to Joe
Yeah,
Gacy.
a nice little stomp.
That was a real nice cave in. Then the Joe Gacy and the Dyad went looking for him. Do you don't want to run afoul of the schism or something of that note is what said by Vic Joseph. And then Cameron Grimes is interviewed, and he's still wearing the weird button down thing, but now he's doing the old Cameron Grimes. That's right. I am Cameron Grimes. Doesn't trust anybody on the NXT roster, but I do trust some people on Raw and SmackDown. So I got a 3-on-1 match next week unless I can find myself 2 partners. But I'm going to go to the moon, and I'm going to find me 2 partners on Raw and SmackDown. That's right. Woohoo, doggies. So 2 guys from the main roster are going to be teaming with Cameron Grimes against the Schism next week. And what are your predictions for that? Babyface team, who somehow is friends with
I mean, I was gonna say New Day, but like they seem to be in this thing with the Usos.
I was thinking Street Profits.
Oh yeah, that works.
I was thinking Street Profits. I mean, I don't know. No, yeah. Luis asked, did he regain his country accent this week? He totally did.
You did, yeah.
He totally did. Yeah. Anyway,
the moon is southern.
I think it's them. It would make sense for it to be Hit Row since they were actually in NXT when Grimes was in NXT. But
I thought about that too, but I feel like they're a little
Montez is injured. Montez is injured. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so maybe Hit Row.
Hit Row. I think Hit Row might do it.
Hit Row. That could work.
The thing of it is that for being hurt, apparently Sean found this out on Fightful Select. This is why you spend $5 for Fightful Select information. He found this out that the boot he was wearing on that episode was listed under props, not a medical thing. It was like this is like a piece of a costume that he needed to be wearing. It's very odd. Luis says, who has investment on Stonks? LA Knight? Maybe LA Knight, but who else? Like, it wouldn't be able to bring LA Knight and one other guy. I'm not really sure who he brings, but LA Knight would be a really good. It
would be fun, but I think he's in such like a weird transitional thing. I don't think you want to make it muddier.
Yeah, you don't. So here we go. Back to an actual rundown of the thing. Second best thing on the entire show, Roddy in a wheelchair wearing a neck brace.
Oh, Lord.
Doing the scene from Rocky 2 where Adrian is in the hospital bed and Rocky comes to see her because he doesn't want to fight because she's sick. And he says, hey, Rock, could you just do one thing for me? Anything, Adrian, anything. Win. And then he goes and he beats Apollo Creed and becomes the champion. It's the exact same thing because that's what he says. Hey, can you do something for me, Julius? Anything. Anything, Roddy. Win. Yeah! Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That would be great. I think this was actually a lot of fun because they played the really, really overwrought music over the top of it. And they gave an actual explanation for everything. They had Roddy there. Like they were talking about how he's been improving. You look a lot better than you did last week. Like he's been improving. Like he's got the neck braces in the wheelchair, whatever. I wish I could be there with you guys. I'm sorry. It was me who brought in Damon. I didn't realize what a cancer he was going to be for the group. The Diamond Mine, we need to keep together. Diamond Mine forever. All this stuff. We have been shown Roddy Strong as a heel forever on television, and then he got ran over by Demon Kemp. And for a lot of times that would just be enough. And now he's a babyface. But they actually did the work of showing us a scene where Roddy has contrition. He's asking for atonement. He's asking for forgiveness from the people he has wronged, and they forgive him, and now he's a babyface again. Do you see how that works, everybody? That they actually gave us a 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute scene. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't long, and it showed us who all filled in all those little missing pieces of the storyline, and now we like Roddy again, as opposed to them just saying, well, you like him because somebody ran over him. No. You actually have to do the work. I think this was really great. Really great.
This is a couple weeks in a row where what they've done with that storyline has all been justified, which is really refreshing. We don't get a lot of that. Like, all the Damon Kemp stuff was not last week, but I think the week before, or maybe even the week before that. Like, that whole undoing was really well justified. This is another situation. And I at least want to like Roddy. So I think this was good. It evoked some sort of empathy. I think the stipulation is really dumb, but I think, I think there's been a really big gap since Malcolm Bivens left. And I think they need to figure it out, or they need to just start calling people up, because honestly, they could go either way with it. So, but as far as what we saw on TV tonight, I'll take this. It was nice to feel like things made sense and were justified in a story on NXT tonight.
Yeah. Honestly, if it ends up being a swerve and Roddy was in on it the whole time and was run over by a car to prove what a heel he was, at least they did the work with the scene.
They did something. They did something.
So, I forgot to mention last week, the Halloween Havoc match in Damon Kemp and Julius is going to be an ambulance match, which are always ridiculous.
I hate ambulance matches. I don't like lumberjack matches. And I don't like ambulance matches.
They actually had Bron beat Roman in an ambulance match back during their amazing feud in 2017, but it didn't count. I mean, he won and he got the door closed, but they booked everything after it to make Roman Superman. That he closed the door on him and then he opened it back up for some reason, and Roman speared him out of the ambulance and then beat the hell out of him for 5 minutes. Yeah, it was what happens.
No.
Hey, so Porn Accountant is actually a porn mergers and acquisitions lady. And she wants to buy Chase U so she can tear the building down because the land is worth way more than Chase U. And she brings in the porn assistant while she's on the phone with somebody who wants to also help her buy Chase U. So they have a storyline for Porn Accountant. And she has a match tonight with Thea Hale. Simon Renshaw says they're actually doing a storyline with Porn Accountant. And Chase U has a big-ass building. Who would have thought? It seems like there's only have one classroom to me. Also, could you... Oh, this is later. This is for the... Can you collect this and throw this in the jukeboxes, Luis? So, the match with Thea Hale never actually really starts because Robert Stone shows up and says, everyone's laughing at me because of you, because you picked me up last week. Well, I'm not going to stand for it. And so Thea Hale picks him up and slams him again, and then turns around and immediately loses the match because Thea Hale is a really smart person. That's why she's in college.
I thought she was an architect. That turns out merger and acquisition. She is the most generically business porn star that there ever was. And normally you don't really care. You're not really invested in the character side of whoever's on your naughty list over here. But I now need clarification around what her role is. Sans being in the sheets. Now, if you're interested in what happens between the sheets, and I don't mean the X-rated stuff, I mean the actual sheets, Alex.
Right.
Yeah. You need something that's going to withstand, various activities that are happening there.
Right.
It's going to take a miracle to pull that off. That's all I'm saying.
Nobody wants to wake up hot, sweaty, sticky. Nobody wants weird smells coming from your sheets. Well, don't worry about that with Miracle miracle.com/Fightful. Miracle brand sheets are the best. Self-cooling technology, self-cleaning that prevent 99.9% of bacterial growth. They stay fresher, cleaner 3 times longer than other sheets. And right now, you can go try Miracle at miracle.com/Fightful. We got a great deal for you. Save 40%, get 3 free towels when you use our promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout. They're so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you got those nasty things on your bed, Miracle brand is here to help you. Listen, eco-friendly, self-cleaning. It can help you avoid allergies and acne and all that stuff that comes with the bacteria that your old bed sheets can harbor. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle brand. Go to miraclebrand.com. Use the promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout to get your free 3-piece towel set. One of these days, I'll be able to say piece correctly and save 40% off. Miracle.com/Fightful.
So there you go. If you're doing
Jacy is run out of an old Little Caesars. That is a very.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Definitely. Someone tweeted this at me, and this was also my favorite part of the promo. She just generically goes, "Look at the numbers" at the end. This is like the level of detail that goes into the Hallmark movies that I love so much at the holidays, of just like, I'm in town on business for my business job that I have. I'm a businessman. I don't have time for a family.
Or I'm a business lady, and my career dictates that I don't have time for a family.
No, I forgot to have children. I was too busy at work.
I was too busy doing business to have babies. Yes, it's true. Luis says also, porn accountant's flatliner is called Perfect Joseph, the 401k. Officially the worst finisher name in all of wrestling. They should have called the 401ko.
But like now that's her retirement account. And this is her tag partner, Roth IRA. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Roth, you should really do a Roth IRA over the 401k, because you don't pay taxes when you take it out.
No, it's good. It's yeah.
Little bit of financial advice here from old man Pawlowski.
Diverse portfolio, Roth IRA is the way to go.
Everyone's laughing at Robert Stone backstage because he got body slammed by Thea Hale again, and Robert Wagner says, "Hey, cut the shit. We got to train to win this ladder match in 12 days. Also, I'm in my wrestling gear for no reason. Also, I lost on main event to R-Truth." They taped a Von Wagner match on Monday, and he lost to R-Truth, in case you think that they still have a lot of high hopes for Von Wagner. As I said, Ilya Dragunov won a match versus Grayson Waller. For some reason, this match wasn't over inside of 90 seconds. And it just makes me wonder what the hell they're doing. Like, Grayson Waller is nowhere near the level of challenging for the NXT title. He isn't. So when you have him have a long, drawn-out match with a guy who is challenging for the NXT title, it makes me go barf, and I don't want to watch your show. Like, do the work. Do the work. You haven't done anything. Like, it's just I
actually didn't hate the match, but Dragunov is like the best.
I hated it on principle because they didn't do the right thing with the booking. But the match may have been great. Fair. But like,
no, the booking was stupid. It's kind of like how Seth lost to Riddle and then was going into a title match. Like, stop losing people, having people lose that are going into title matches. Just makes no sense. But I did think this was actually like a stronger showing from Grayson Waller, which was nice. I think he's coming along in the ring. It just feels. But then he has to leave to do his finisher, and he spins the wheel.
No, he didn't spin the wheel. The wheel spun by itself And so he was so worried by ghosts that were spinning the wheel by themselves that he hopped into the ring to do his finisher and got caught in a German suplex and lost.
Okay, I do make exceptions for anything around Halloween Havoc because it's always been a gimmicky, stupid pile of stupidity.
Sure.
But fun. So like the wheel being spun by ghosts, I'll make exceptions for. When you have a match over the right to spin the wheel, that's a bridge too far for me. But like stupid, spooky stuff happening with Halloween Havoc, I'll let be.
I'm fine with it if he thinks it's actually spinning by itself. But then we have to see later Apollo Crews step from behind the wheel, and it was actually Apollo Crews that spun it. Because I'm fine with him being whacked out enough that he thinks a ghost spun the wheel. But I'm not fine with that being the actual explanation for what happened. You actually have to show me that there is something else that happened because...
I guess you've just never been haunted before.
I guess I have now. The tricks... Rabbit spun the wheel. See what I did? Tricks?
It's a white rabbit.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. Henry T. Casey says, "What the hell is up with Ilya Dragunov's red and black robe entrance gear with black feathered boa? Does he have some weird hidden Austin Powers B-side to him? I don't know. It's like the black feathered boa and a robe. Is it like Ric Flair and NWO Hogan?" All roll into one. I'm not really sure.
Dragunov's so good.
He really is. He's so good. After the match, Breaker shows up and spears him as a retribution for getting accidentally torpedo Moscowed earlier in the night. And apparently I missed this because I had it on mute because I was watching it on my phone as I was walking up the stairs and didn't want to wake up my daughter. But yeah. But apparently during the spear, Booker said, "Shucky ducky quack quack."
Oh, okay. It's possible I missed this as well because as locked in as I was to NXT.
You're locked in.
Completely locked in.
Locked in. Mm-hmm.
I might have for a split second been paying attention to the Yankee game at that point.
This is also a very good point here by John Wick. Dragunov needed ghost help to beat Grayson Waller because Grayson Waller was going out to do his finisher, and had the ghost not distracted him, Ilya wouldn't have had time to recover. That's part of this. Is that okay? Well, we don't want Grayson Waller to get beat, clean, so we'll protect him via a ghost spinning a wheel.
Yeah. I can't think of a more protected situation than a ghost spinning a wheel.
Yeah. Apparently, JD McDonough was at the end. I missed it. I had already turned off the broadcast because I was still so disgusted. Tom LaValle says, "Wait, so now she works in porn real estate?" Sorry, my mind, I went for a big wander for the last 30 minutes. Yeah, she works in porn real estate now.
She does. And she sleeps on miraculous sheets.
It's a porn booming porn industry.
There's a lot of different verticals in porn.
It's still a porn seller's market. He was clapping in the crowd.
Look at the numbers.
Look at the numbers. Oh,
look at the numbers.
I would love it if they would done a reverse angle and a shot over his shoulder, and the numbers are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That would be fantastic. With
Look at the numbers
next to them.
The camera zoomed in on his big ass head, said Luis, and that's what we're talking about. All right. JW Pringle says, "Do you remember storylines?" Pawlowski does. And Jake Salazar says, "I have faith Cody Rhodes will heal the internal racism within WWE and solve all of our problems."
Happy birthday, Dusty Rhodes.
Nerd Guru says, "I didn't watch NXT tonight in favor of Cobra Kai being the most off-the-wall bananas show I've seen in a long-ass time. I think wrestling fans would love it because it's like a video game. It's amazing." I have not watched any of it. I feel like I'm going to wait until
I think it's egregious that you would give your attention to something else or even split your attention during NXT.
Yeah,
I would never do such
how unprofessional. Listen,
summarily and unprofessionally split your attention.
Here's the deal, Kate. Here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You are watching playoff baseball. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be watching regular season basketball, like October regular season basketball, instead of watching NXT. So, yes, Porn Assistant was with Porn Accountant. They were looking at the numbers together.
The numbers. They needed to be looked at. These numbers.
Look at the numbers. Throwback says, "What's good, guys?
What's good?
He's a 22-month Twitch sub. Thank you, Throwback.
Sub.
Have we had Twitch for 22 months?
I guess we have.
What's good, guys? Tonight was a mixed reaction about the show. Yeah, there we go. NXT could be better at times. It really could. It really could. But there could be something happening down the line. Well, that's always true. Do you see, even if it's a long shot, Bate coming into the triple threat with Breaker, McDonough, and Dragunov? No, I don't. I wish I could. I wish I did. Yeah, but no. I still have hope for Bate to go up to the main roster and steal Butch away from Sheamus, so that you can do British Strong Style as a tag team, get all the golds, and have lots of awesome matches.
I don't know what you do with him. I don't know what Hunter does with him, but I think they know how special he is. Like, I don't know, just vibe wise, because he walked right into the title picture, maybe, or something. Like, he's kind of undeniably an extremely special talent. So,
Throwback says, "Thank you, Fightful, for making every day great." Well, no, thank you, Throwback, for being such a loyal member of the family. Okay. Oh gosh, here we go. Chi-Town Spurs. We already got that one. Jam Beard says, "R.I.P. Angela Lansbury, Linda and Sheila's favorite." Listen, if you needed a murder solved in an hour, and that murder happened to happen at a very specific locale in New England, and the police for some reason were not available, then you called Jessica Fletcher and she got it done every time.
An astounding success rate. Astounding. She don't miss like that mellow. Like that mellow don't miss. She did not miss.
Jessica Fletcher don't miss.
Jessica Fletcher don't miss.
She's incapable of missing. We said it. Ryan Sullivan says, "I am super chatting my request that Alex dress as Pawlowski for Halloween and be super sweet, because it'd be the opposite." And the answer is no. I don't care how much you super chat. I'm not doing that. Not after tonight. Not after tonight. TNA says those bands were trying to be Pearl Jam, not Soundgarden. Like Nathan Frazier's theme song has a lot of Nickelbacking to it. It felt like, honestly, it feels like Breaking Benjamin, which of course was trying to be Nickelback, which was trying to be Creed, which was trying to be Pearl Jam. So
yeah, it's all watered down grunge. Like grunge was cool and caught fire, so a bunch of record labels said, let's try and mimic it and put it on mainstream radio.
Jake Salazar says, "I 100% believe that you could literally be a multimillionaire if you started a whole Jukebox album and collaborated with Weird Al." Well, do you have Weird Al's number? Because apparently there was a thing when we went to slow mode that the Fightful account said this is coming out of Kate's pay because of the slow mode thing, because Jeremy had to show up and turn on slow mode because of you know who.
Why is it gonna come out? I should have known it was Jeremy.
Must have been.
Lambert.
So you got a few in here. I know. Because here you go. CO says Tiffany Stratton singing "What's My Age Again" by Blink-182.
I did it to myself.
That's gonna pop me. That's for sure.
Pop me.
Yeah,
I have great memories of Blink 182. I fell in love with the girl at the rock show. Me. Okay. Look, I have strong opinions about it, but I listened to it. I didn't just write it off. I did my best. All right. I took her out. It was a Friday night. I wore cologne to get the feeling right. We started making out, and she took off my pants. But then I turned on the TV. And that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. And are still amused by TV shows? What the hell is ADD? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? That's all you're getting.
That's very good. It's very, very good. No, I like that. I like
giving
that a lot.
You more of this trite nonsense.
No. Here we go. Asian Joe says, Grandpappy Alex, tell us about the war of Wednesday nights. Well, you see, kids, there were two factions, two warring factions, two houses in repute. There was AEW and there was NXT, and they fought each other on the Wednesday nights. Fought each other in the ratings war. They did. I said waitings, but I meant ratings. I don't say things very well anymore. And then so the AEW usually won in the ratings war, but the NXT, they tried everything. They tried to bring Karrion Kross out, and they tried to have Karrion. It was a horrible failure. Karrion Kross never got over it. They put him on the main roster, and he lost to Jeff Hardy in his first match. He wore the NXT title to the ring and lost to the dried-out husk of Jeff Hardy in 90 seconds. It was, I don't know. Price is Right is on. So we'll have to
Pawlowski.
We'll have to pepper those in. Nathan Frazier sings "Hurt" by Johnny Cash. That was requested by Lord Jackson. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. To focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all the way, but I remember everything. What have I become, my sweetest friend? Everyone I know goes away in the end, and you could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down, I will make you hurt, and Bob's your uncle.
Sad for Uncle Bob.
Yep. So hold on, you have to pick something for me to sing as Daddy Magic. So think about it while I sing Roxanne by UTFO as Finn Balor as requested by NCB. Yo, EMD, there goes that girl they call Roxanne. She's all stuck up. Why do you say that? Because she wouldn't give a guy like me no rap. And she was walking down the street, so I said, hello, I'm Kangle from UTFO. She said, so? And I said, so, baby, don't you know I can sing, rap, dance, one show, because I'm Kangle, Mr. Safika Katakadataka. Yeah, as far as I know, I ain't nobody greater from beginning to end and end to beginning. I'd never lose because I'm all about winning. But if I was to lose, I wouldn't be upset because I'm not a gambler. I don't bet. I don't be in no casino. And baby, well, you nizzo that is the grizzate Kizangizol. You're a bad father.
All right, I have my pick.
Okay.
Glamorous by Fergie.
Okay, there you go. You hear that, Luis? Give me those lyrics. I gotta do it. Hold on. CO says, Grandpa Alex, tell us about DIY again. Well, there's Johnny Gargano. They called him Johnny Wrestling. And then there was Tommaso Ciampa. They called him Psycho Killer. And they were a tag team. They weren't supposed to be. They were brought in just to have a few singles matches. But William Regal, in his wonderful wisdom, he put them together as a tag team. They were going to be in the Dusty Classic. And they had a few matches, but then they were like, oh no, actually we like you a lot. You're gonna stick around. We're gonna make you a tag team. What are you gonna call yourselves? DIY, which stood for do it yourself, which is a big style at the time. People would go to Home Depot or Michael's or whatever, and they'd get things and they'd glue some things together or build a deck. But anyway, DIY is not the point. The point is that they had a fantastic tag run. They beat the Revival in Toronto to be the tag team champions. But then they feuded with each other. The Basso Ciampa, it's my moment, and then he threw Johnny Wrestling into the thing, and they fought again, and then they fought another time, but then they fought one more time. They probably fought too many times, but then they looked at their hands and they said, "Why am I so violent?" And nobody had any answers. And then Candice LeRae kicked Tommaso Ciampa in the balls, and then that was it. What? Oh, hello. Chris Parrish has a Twitch raid. Came in and saw this. I don't know what this is.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to the people just joining us. We are at the wacky impressions point of the show.
Sorry.
Sorry, and you're welcome.
Explain the literal meaning of DIY. This is what I do. Jigsaw says, I don't think I've ever heard a Blink-182 song.
God love ya. And
yes, you missed a time of music because they were ubiquitous and everywhere. Simon Renshaw has asked for Kate's choice to sing Daddy Magic, and she has come out with Fergie Glamorous. Here we go. If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. GLAMOUORS. I forgot how to spell, but that's all right because you get a taste of the glamorous. We fly in first class up in the sky, popping champagne, living my life in the fast lane. I won't change by the glamorous. Oh, the flossy. Are you ready? The glamorous. Oh, the glamorous by the flossy. Huh? That's right. So that's enough.
Sports
entertainers. Sports entertainers. Okay. Here we go. Michael Dammit asked, do Linda and Pawlowski know one another?
I was going to ask that later.
I've never had the pleasure. But he seems like a very nice, a bit too old for me, obviously. But you know, because I've still got all my faculties, and he appears just from first glance to not know what day it is. But I obviously am solid, sharp as a tack, solid as a rock up here. But you know, I don't know. He is kind of cute though, so who knows?
He certainly seems to remember quite a few things about the DIY.
If he has any money, he's probably close to death. Maybe I'd marry him just to get the inheritance.
You are so bad. You're just collecting inheritances all the time.
It's kept me in the life to which I've become accustomed. So.
I love that we got people from Twitch who have no idea what's going on. Welcome.
Okay, good. Here we go. NCB says Pawlowski sings "Mama Said Knock You Out" by LL Cool J. Okay, here we go. We'll see how this goes.
Paul, what did Mom used to say?
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my peers, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosions overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics. It'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest. That'll all get sliced and diced. Competition's paying the price. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out because Mama said knock you out, and I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out.
Okay,
Mama said knock you out.
I think it's bedtime, Graham.
Don't tell her to come back.
You know who didn't need to come back tonight? The Yankees.
The Yankees, very good. Pawlowski going to be husband number 69.
Heyo.
POV, you stumble into the stream expecting a wrestling review stream, but it's Jukebox time. Okay, so here we go. Well, here we go. Here we go. Jambeard says, since Luis doesn't think it's a Halloween movie, can we have Tiffany sing the first song of the movie? This is Halloween. This is Nightmare Before Christmas. Can we do that?
Yes, we can do that. Hold on, let me.
Okay, good.
Okay. Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. This is our town. Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween. Everybody make a scene. Trick or treat till the neighbor's gonna die of fright. It's our town. Everybody scream. This is our town of Halloween. Good enough?
Very, very good. Very good. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Toodles. Bones in the Home, Elizabeth says, Pawlowski singing Cats in the Cradle. My child just arrived the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but airplanes to catch bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking before I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm going to be like you, Dad. No, I'm going to be like you. And the cat's in the cradle, the silver spoon, little boy blue, and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. We'll have a good time then.
Getting worried about him. Getting harder.
What? All right. His catchphrase is just what?
What?
What? By the way, one of my projects in grad school when I was doing my area of expertise that I was going into was voice acting. And so one of the things I had to do was I had to pick a certain type of character and then find 5 different voices for that same character type. And it was Old Man. So this was one of them.
Oh,
so,
that rules.
So this is one of them. There's other ones. I don't even know if I could conjure up any other ones, but this was the one I had the most fun with. Jukebox. Orion Band says Axiom sings "Churros" by Crypto Bunny. All right, here we go.
I think my favorite part is that your nose gets smushed in the process.
Yeah. It's good. Okay. So we're gonna save our oh, that's me. That's me doing. That's not a duet. That's me and me doing a duet. Okay.
It's my favorite.
Here we go. Jam Beard says, no, wait, Jam, this is, I don't believe this is a song request. I believe this is a Simpsons monologue request. Jam Beard says, Pawlowski sitting by the lemon tree. And a great cry went up from the city and some citizens of Shelbyville because the lemon tree had been taken away and nobody wanted it anyway because the lemon tree was haunted. That's right. Lemon Tree was haunted, and we never wanted it here to begin with. And they took it over to Springfield, and now the ghosts haunt the Springfield, and we didn't want it anyway. That Lemon Tree, and we eat turnips. Unless we got to toast the fact that we don't have Lemon Tree anymore, because we with a nice tall glass of turnip juice. You can taste the vitamin J. So what? Grandpa does Purple Pills by D12, helped by Linda, as requested by Orion Ben 666. Helped by Linda. Okay, here we go. I take a couple uppers, I keep a couple downers, but nothing compares to these blue and yellow purple pills. I've been to Mushroom Mountain once or twice, but who's counting? But nothing compares to these blue and yellow purple pills. Blue and yellow purple pills. Cool, calm, just like my mom, with a couple of Valium and cider. It's Mr. Mischief with a trick up his sleeve to roll up on you like Christopher Reeves. I can't describe the vibe I get when I drive by 6 people and 5 I hit. Whoops. Oh, shoot. I started a mosh pit, squashed the bitch, and stopped the foster kids. Wow, that's terrible. The shrooms make me hallucinate. Then I sweat till I start losing weight, till I see dumb shit start happening, dumber than Vanilla Ice trying to rap again. Oh, my goodness, that is dumb. That's very dumb. That's very dumb. Grandpa, you want to take the rest of this? So bounce, come on, bounce. I said, come on, bounce. Everybody in the house with half an ounce. Me. Not weed, I meant Coke. Coca-Cola Classic. Remember the new Coke? They had new Coke. That was in the 80s. Bill Cosby, who was a fine man until he wasn't anymore, and then that's terrible.
That is.
What?
A lot of people in the chat want to ask Pawlowski about Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish, we went to grade school together. I was in first grade, he was in fifth grade, but he always looked out for me, that Bobby Fish. He had a mustache even then, and I was there for his first match. I was his corner boy. Back then we had corner boys where they'd have the pail full of water and they'd take a drink. And then at the end he'd give me a bee. Rather, we called them that's a nickel, but they had a picture of bees on them. And then that's what I would take that down to the local store, and I'd buy me a whole sack of flour. I'd take it home to my mother, and she'd use that to make things. What?
To just make things.
She'd make things. He had a mustache even then.
He definitely did. I could see a little fifth grade Bobby Fish.
Okay, here we go. JW Pringle says Axiom sings All the Small Things by Blink-182.
This is the best it's ever sounded, probably. This stupid song.
We'll see. We shall see. All right, here we go.
I'm so sorry for insulting them with lyrical genius like na 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 na. Say it ain't so.
Luis Villarreal wants Jules' You Were Meant for Me by William Regal. I hear the clock. It's 6 a.m. I feel so far from where I've been. I got my eggs, got my pancakes too. I got my maple syrup. Everything but you. I break the yolks and make a smiley face. I kind of like it in my brand new place. Wipe the spots up off the mirror. Don't leave my keys in the door. I never put wet towels on the floor anymore. 'Cause dreams last so long. Even after you're gone, man in the mask. I know that you love me, and soon you will see. You were meant for me, and I was meant for you, you scrumptious little tart, you. I want to just melt you in my mouth, it's true. It's good. War Games. Battle Frolic. Okay, Jake Salazar wants Pawlowski. You got another one, Kate.
Come on.
It's not ready yet, but Jake Salazar says Pawlowski singing Linda on My Mind by Conway Twitty. There we go. Actually, I kind of like it if Pawlowski is one of Linda's ex-husbands who was far too old for her. There was a May-December romance, and somehow he's still alive. Now I'm lying here with Linda on my mind, and next to me, my soon-to-be, the one I left behind. And Lord, it's killing me to see her cry. She knows I'm lying here beside her with Linda on my mind. Yes, I know that once I loved her, and I placed no one above her, and I never thought I'd ever set her free, but it wasn't in my plans the way that Linda squeezed my hand. The first time that I held her close and she danced with me, I said, I loved you for a long time, but you're married to a friend of mine, and I've tried hard to never let it show, but my love for you is stronger. I can't hide it any longer, and so I thought I'd better let you know. Now I'm lying here with Linda on my mind, and next to me, the soon-to-be, my one about Linda. What? All right.
The Linda at the end. Huge fan.
Jambeard wants Ned from South Park singing Damn It by Bling 182.
It like hurts to do, and I hate this song.
There you go.
It's all right to tell me what you think about me. I won't try to argue or hold it against you. I know that you're leaving. You must have your reasons. This season's calling me. Your pictures are falling down. The steps that I retrace, the sad look on your face, the timing and structure. Did you hear he fucked her over? A day late, a buck short. I'm writing the report. I'm losing and failing. When I move, I'm flailing now. That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's all I'm doing.
Well, I guess this is growing up. Stupid song.
Tom LaValle says, for Angela Lansbury's memory, please have Linda and Darby sing A Little Priest from Sweeney Todd. There we go. That's all very well, but what are we going to do about the Italian? Later on, when it's dark, we'll take him out of the trunk and bury him. Well, yes, of course, we could do that. I don't suppose he's got any relatives going to come poking around looking for him. But you know me, bright ideas keep popping in my head, and I keep thinking, seems a downright shame. Shame. Seems an awful waste. Such a nice plump frame. What's his name had? What? No, it can't be traced. Business needs a lift. Debts to be erased. Think of it as a thrift, as a gift, if you get my drift. No? Seems an awful waste. I mean, with the price of meat, what it is. When you get it, if you get it. Good, you got it. Take, for instance, Mrs. Mooney in a pie shop. Business never better, using only pussycats and toast. And a pussy's good for maybe 6 to 7 at the most. And I'm sure they can't compare as far as taste. Mrs. Lovett, what a charming notion. Eminently practical and yet appropriate as always. Well, it does seem a waste, is all I'm saying. And that's all that.
That was really good.
That is so much fun.
Especially with Linda talking about the plump frame.
Well, listen, it's all I'm saying is it just seems a waste. You know, we got all this meat here on this guy you just murdered. So I mean, thank you, everybody. Hey, so yeah. What's going on? Oh yeah, next week we're gonna do this as a double show. We're gonna somehow
for the first time ever, I will have my attention split. This never happened before.
Never happened before.
Definitely not tonight.
Nope.
We are gonna do both AEW and NXT as they're running head to head because AEW is getting bumped from playoffs, so they will be on Tuesday, and we will be reviewing both.
Somehow that seems like it's going to go off without a hitch. I don't know why, but
it's going to be
perfect. And I think that we're going to be able to review both shows in a tidy hour and a half.
Yeah, I would say 1:15 to
no problem.
1:30. Yeah.
Emily and Allie are going to Dynamite next week, so
have so much fun.
So you're gonna have to check out the show on the way back. This week, whenever the hell we get around to recording it, is for Get the Flick Out of Here. I did a scary one, and Kate did a cute one. So I'm gonna do Chud, which stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers, and Kate did Spooky Buddies, which stands for Spooky Buddies, and
a terrifying psycho thriller.
Jambeer says next week I'm coming with a pre-made song list. Oh, good. Oh, good.
Gotta pay the piper, my friend.
Just Fancy Space Dust threw us a donation on Twitch and says, "What's up, you legends? Still don't watch NXT, but wanted to throw some love at the glorious Kalex. Thank
you so much. We appreciate that.
It makes fun. But yeah, we this week, the Get the Flick Out of Here should be a lot of fun.
Yes.
So make sure you watch that. Those drop on Fridays now. So watch out for that at the end of the week. Dynamite tomorrow night. Watch me watch Chris Jericho beat Bryan Danielson for the ROH title in the main event of AEW on my YouTube channel, Alex Sour Graps. We're going to do a live reaction to the main event, which I'm sure won't have me angry. And also, Kate reviews it on her own thing for the Mark Order podcast, and then I will review it with John Alba tomorrow night, an actual real journalist. A respected man in his field will somehow try to get a word in edgewise as I lose my mind over Chris Jericho beating Bryan Danielson.
If you need to cut him off at any point, just do the wave. It's his favorite thing. He'll just get distracted by it, but that should be a blast. You finally get to sit in with someone with a good reputation as opposed to Sean. So refreshing.
Anyway, yes, and we will. And so yes, anyway, so yeah, there's all kinds of fun things. Kate, where do they follow you on the platforms?
You can find me at Miss Kate Fabe on Twitter. You can also find me doing the AEW Rampage and SmackDown post show, with this week we'll have Robert D. Felice, which I'm very, very excited about, as Mirror Alex, Fake Alex 2.0 is actually moving from Jersey to Carolina. So he will be in transit, and I will have Team Kebab back in action on Friday.
Emily C. says, Alba doesn't sing songs. It's an old woman with emphysema?
That we know of.
Alba doesn't. Yeah, you get in your requests for tomorrow night and see what happens.
You pay.
I don't know if Alba does any impressions. We'll have to find out. You can follow me on the Twitter at Alex Sour Graps. Also on YouTube as Alex Sour Graps. We'll be doing a lot of fun stuff over there in the next coming weeks. Thank you all for being with us. You guys make this so much fun to do. As much as I hate the current product of NXT, I will never stop doing this show because I love all of you guys so much. So there you go. Thank you so much. I love this too. Emily C. I strategically napped through the wrestling part to wake up just in time for Jukebox. That's what you got to do, people.
Thinking.
That's what you got to do. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
We love you. Everything sucks, but keep cool, Gabagools.